You're watching Mugen TV RPG Haven. Experience a fantasy like no other.
Hey guys, it's MugenLord here, and I'm back again with another video. And today I want to talk about Trials of Mana, which was released on the Nintendo Switch, the PS4, and the PC over the weekend. And I spent quite some time with it over the weekend, and I'm up to roughly almost 10 hours into the game. And I just want to give you my first impressions of what I think about it so far. Now, if you guys don't know, Trials of Mana is pretty much a remake of the original Trials of Mana that was never released here in the United States, but only in Japan until recently. Last year of 2019, they released the Mana collection that included Trials of Mana into it with the rest of the Mana games. So players in the United States and just the Western world got a chance to experience the game firsthand, and they decided to surprise us with an actual remake. And I must say that I was super hyped for this. I also have the Mana collection as well on Nintendo Switch, so I decided to say, hey, I'm ready for this 3D remake, and I'm looking forward to it. And now we're here at 2020, and this is not only one of my most anticipated JRPGs of this year alongside Final Fantasy VII Remake, but this is also the game that everyone's been just waiting for to get their hands on. So as far as my impressions concerned, I spent about a good total of about like 10 hours so far, and this is what I grasped with the game. And does it live up to my anticipation, what I was looking forward to in this game? Well, in its first impressions, I would say that yes, I'm loving every last bit of it. It just takes me back during the time of the 90s where we had these action JRPGs that pretty much ruled the living rooms, especially during the SNES era. And right here, it has that same aesthetic feel to it. You know, it feels fresh, but it also feels familiar at the same time. And I must say, oh my god, the soundtrack is beautiful. They've done a good job with the soundtrack. And the good thing about it is, as well, as you can pretty much use or switch to the original SNES soundtrack as well if you want to run through with that. But I must say that the remixes and the remakes of these songs complements this game, and it looks as just perfectly. Now, as far as the design and the artistic style and choice, it goes with a bright, colorful, I guess you say, anime or almost near cell shade type of aesthetics that they have for it, which I think is a good idea and a good approach for Mana, because if you guys don't know, the Mana series is very bright and it's very colorful, and I think that this design has definitely reflected that down to the T, and I think it's perfect. Now, as far as the Nintendo Switch version can be a little rough around the edges. They added more bloom effect to hide some of the blemishes, but you can still get that same overall experience and enjoyment, especially if the Nintendo Switch is your only choice of console that you do have. But if you have multiple consoles, which I do, I bought the PS4 and Nintendo Switch, and then the Nintendo Switch is for me to pretty much carry it on the go to be able to play Trials of Mana anywhere on the fly. So that's another reason why I bought that as well. And the PS4 version looks much better, and it runs at 60 frames per second. So if you're looking for a much more smoother experience and a much clearer experience, then I would suggest to go to the PS4 version. But if it doesn't matter and you just want to just get that overall gameplay, then any version you pick doesn't matter. But I would suggest a Switch version so you can just have that playability anywhere on the go. So to dive into gameplay mechanics, the gameplay mechanics is pretty much action adventure based. It's pretty much taken from the original game with some minor tweaks to it as well, because now you have a combo system to where you have your light and heavy attacks, and then as you progress to the game, you also learn additional combos as well, and you can also charge up your heavy to break enemy shields or to take critical damage. You're also allowed to jump during combat, or just jump during explorations period, which was never in any of the Mana games where it had a jump button. So to add that also gives more depth to the 3D environments as well. There's also exploration where you can explore the different areas. You can fill up the map. So if you're a completionist or you're a person that just likes to explore everything, I think this is definitely perfect for you. Now, as far as how this game works, you have 6 main characters. Now, when you start the game, you're pretty much able to choose what 3 characters you want. You can't have all 6 characters. You only choose 3 out of the 6. Now, you can pick a main character and 2 companions. Now, the story will follow the main hero, or the main hero that you choose, it follows the story through their perspective, and also the companions aid them on their journey. Now, the other 3 characters that you haven't chosen will still appear in the main story, but they just don't join your party, or they don't add as much context to the overarching plot. So this game also encourages multiple playthroughs about 6 different times, so you can see the story through their eyes. Now, the thing is, each character does share a common enemy, I would say. Like Duran and Angela, their main common enemy is the Crimson Wizard, and then you have Riaz and you have Hawkeye, who pretty much share the same villain, which is Belladonna, and then you have Kevin and you have Charlotte, who shares this impish or fiend looking creature. So that's their common enemy. So if you want to go into to get like a full like understanding of character motives and everything, you compare each of those characters that I just mentioned, because they have something in common with one another, which also makes the game interesting. But you can play the game however you want, because you still have to get those different perspectives by having these multiple playthroughs, which I think is pretty cool. And I decided to start off with Duran, Angela, and Charlotte. And as I'm going through the game, I'm really like piecing together the plot, the story, and at the same time, it's kind of rough for me as far as going through the game, because Duran is more of a, I guess you say, a tank, and then Charlotte and also Angela are mages. So I have 2 different mages. I have a healer, and of course I have Angela as I guess you could say my damage mage, which makes things a bit difficult for me, is because when we're fighting a bunch of mobs, it's just me as the one who has to make sure to protect my mages. I don't have a damage dealer with me who can pretty much run out there and just pretty much pass around all the damage. Now since I have 2 mages, it's kind of hard trying to keep an eye on the both of them, which is challenging, which I like. And then plus I up the difficulty to hard as well. But there's also class changes where you're able to change your classes. But once you get to a certain part of the game, you're allowed to change your character's class, which you have 2 different approaches when it comes to the classes so far. You have a light side and you have a dark side, and each side has their own special traits and attributes that you want to approach when playing the game. So this also encourages multiple playthroughs, because you may not want Duran to pretty much go dark this game. You may want him to go light the next playthrough, and I decided to go light is because the light side is more of the paladin side, and since I don't really have any actual damage dealers with, you know, spears or daggers or anything, I more so have mages. I figured that being a paladin, I'm able to pretty much micromanage and be able to protect them a lot easier. And I decided to make Angela go into the dark side, so she focused more on like heavier darker spells, and then I made Charlotte go more on the light side to be that priest or to be that healer, that white mage, in order to pretty much keep all of our healths stabilized and cure all of our status effects and everything. But overall, man, I'm enjoying the game. I'm enjoying the environments. In this game, I can say is pretty much almost 1-to-1. Instead, they also added voice acting to the game as well, and add some other minor touches to it. But overall, everything is intact from the original Trials of Mana, and I'm really liking the direction they went with this game. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm loving it, and I can't wait to finish this game. So I'll expect you guys to look out for an overall review of when that comes out. So I'll definitely post in the comment sections below, or I'll post in the community tab to let you guys know when the review will be coming, because oh man, oh boy, I'm enjoying this. And I must say that after I finish this game, the first playthrough, and after I do my review, I'm definitely going to do another playthrough as well, and maybe even stream it so you can see me actually go through a game with a different set of characters and everything. So that pretty much wraps up my opinion of what I think about my first impressions of Trials of Mana. I'm enjoying the hell out of it, and I'm gonna spend a whole lot of time with this, just like I did with Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's just that this year has been awesome so far with JRPGs. My love and my passion has been reinvigorated for role-playing games in general. But I also think that's the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 as well. And I think that kicked it off to get me back into my JRPGs. And now that we have Final Fantasy VII Remake, despite how I feel about the end, I think that was still a pretty solid game. And also now we have Trials of Mana, which I'm loving the hell out of. So if you like this video, please share it, pass it around. I definitely want to hear your thoughts on it. If you're playing the game, I definitely want to know like which your characters, who your companions are, and are you planning to pretty much do multiple playthroughs of the game as well, and what console of choice have you decided to run this game on. So definitely like to hear that. If you like the video, share it, pass it, like it, subscribe, and also you want to hear more news related to Square Enix and even Trials of Mana itself, hit the bell to be notified. This is MugenLord signing off. See you game fiends later. Peace out. It looks like you reached the end of the video. Well, while you're at it, check out some of my other discussion videos by clicking on the annotations below, and don't forget to follow me on other social media platforms to stay up to date with future content. Signing off.